Hello and welcome to Recharge Wrestling. We're here to plug you into the world of professional wrestling. My name is Fisher and I'm here to preview and predict Survivor Series for you. First of all, I want to apologise. This week, obviously, haven't had any content on the channel. We've not had a podcast for podcast listeners. Very busy week, between the three of us, work, not being able to catch up on all of the wrestling, the World Cup being on, various other things have meant that we haven't really been able to find time to like I say, watch all the shows and find time to talk about them as well. But I thought it was very important to do a show before Survivor Series to preview it, because our podcast probably this week wouldn't have necessarily been a review of SmackDown and Raw. It probably would have been more of a preview show for Survivor Series. And it's probably a good job I've waited. I waited till Saturday purely because now we know the full card. We know who the last woman is in the women's WarGames match. And I think that was important to know before I predict the results and obviously talk about the matches in full. 5 matches on this card, not very many, but I assume the 2 WarGames matches are going to go very long. So, that's kind of obvious, really. I thought there might be a 6th match added, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it's not happening. Certainly not yet. It will happen, but not yet, which is a little bit disappointing. But the card we've got is pretty strong, to be honest. So I'm not disappointed with that. Let's talk about the other 3 matches before we talk about the main WarGames matches. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. A feud that's been brewing for a while, obviously, between the 2 factions, the OC and the Judgment Day. A bit of a dream match, really. Balor and Styles, 2 former Bullet Club leaders. They have met before in WWE, I think, but this is on a big stage, a big crowd, on a big show, and I'm sure Triple H is going to just say, let these 2 go at it and have the best match you can have. I'm sure we're going to get shenanigans involved from Judgment Day and the OC, obviously. But I think this is going to be a really good match. The build to it has been decent. I have been a little bit bored of the Judgment Day OC feud because I think it's gone quite a long time. But I think adding Mia Yim into it freshened it up to equalise Rhea, because otherwise I think they were too dominant before. And it's been a bit better since then. But I think the feud maybe needs to end here. I thought they might be involved in maybe some sort of Survivor Series or WarGames style match with the 2 factions, but obviously the 2 women are in a WarGames match, and we're getting a one-on-one match, which, to be honest, match-wise, will probably be the best match you can do between these 2 teams, with Styles and Balor. My prediction is that Finn Balor wins here. I was torn on this. I don't think it's an easy one to predict. AJ Styles hasn't won a singles pay-per-view match for like 3 years or something mad. Which is a bit ridiculous, really. But Balor seems to be the one at the moment being pushed. I've heard a lot of the dirt sheets saying that Balor is really highly thought of. We've seen Triple H book Balor before, and he really likes Balor. And although I feel like the Judgment Day have had the better of this feud the whole way through, I think it makes sense for Balor to beat Styles here. So that's my prediction. But it really is one that could go either way, and I'm sure the match will be really, really good. On to match 2, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. This feels definitely to me like the weakest match on the card. Not particularly exciting. I think the match is the most predictable. I also think the build to it has been quite weak. Ronda on the mic isn't particularly strong. Shayna, her involvement has helped, I think, with the build to this. And obviously, I think we got quite a good angle last night with Shayna and Ronda sort of destroying Raquel, so Raquel won't be involved in the match, and it's sort of a 2-on-1 thing. That was all good. The mic work was bad in the promos. Shotzi's done okay, but yeah, Ronda and Shayna stuff I haven't been particularly a fan of. This is a filler match, really, I feel like, for Ronda before she gets a huge match at the Royal Rumble for the title. So I think Ronda retains. I don't see a world in which Shotzi beats her and that causes a big upset. They've labelled it as a huge upset if she wins. So I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe someone will try and help out Shotzi and like level it up, but I don't think it's going to work. Whatever happens, anyway. Maybe someone like Emma might come out to help her. We could get a big return on this show, like a Sasha maybe. But yeah, I think Shotzi loses whatever the outcome is. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not particularly. This is the match I'm looking forward to least on the show. I would say, but it could still be good in ring. I don't think it'll go too long. And like I said, I think Ronda will retain. Match 3 is the triple threat match for the United States Championship, which was made official on Raw. Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley. These three have been kind of going at it for a while, with obviously Lashley costing Theory and and all this sort of stuff that's been happening on Raw. So it's built to a triple threat match. Thought they could have done a 4-way here with Ali, because he's been involved in this quite a lot as well. But it seems like they don't want to put Mustafa Ali in this spot. I thought they would put him in there maybe to take the pin, to protect the others, but that isn't the direction they've gone with. They've gone with a triple threat, so I'm just going to swing my iron brew. And yeah, I think the match will be really, really good. I mean, Seth Rollins doesn't often miss, especially on pay-per-view. Bobby Lashley's been on a tear. Theory's getting better and better. So the match will be fantastic, I think. I think the build's been quite good. Obviously, there was a massive down point with Theory and the booking of the briefcase. That was horrible. But they've recovered it pretty well with Theory's gimmick change, dropping the selfie stuff, being a lot more serious, looking more aggressive. Lashley being like super aggressive in this feud, and then Rollins kind of turning babyface automatically, but is so beloved anyway that kind of works. I think it's going to be a real good match. My prediction is that Rollins retains. I don't see the point in putting the title on either man of the other men. Lashley's had it recently. He lost it. I don't see the point in getting him back. Theory, if he was going to win it, should have won it when he cashed in. Why have him fail a cash in if you're not going to have him? If you're going to have him win the title anyway, I think that makes no sense. So yeah, Rollins wins for me, but this will be a really good match to put on the card. Match number 4. That's it, isn't it? There's only 3. So there's only 3 matches, and then there's the 2 WarGames matches. So we'll talk about the women's match first then. Obviously, we found out on SmackDown that the final member was Becky Lynch. It's a shame we didn't get to do the pod this week, because that was going to be my prediction, because I'd heard a little bit that it could be. I thought if it was going to be Candice LeRae, they would have revealed it on Raw. Then what was the point of dragging out Candice LeRae, because she's been involved in that feud? I didn't think it was going to be a big, like Sasha Banks or Naomi return, because I think they would have left that for the pay-per-view if that was the case, and left the spot open. But Becky Lynch coming back on SmackDown made sense, and her being in the match makes sense, with Damage Control obviously taking her out in the storyline, injury, and obviously her babyface turn, sort of befriending Bianca Belair before she left. That all made sense. So actually, I think Becky going in, and she's a huge star that adds much needed, I think, lift to this match. Because I do think, even though there are some stars in it, I think there's a few filler people in it, and I think it needed that big last name, and they delivered on that. So fair play. And they didn't save it to the pay-per-view, because I think if they'd have saved it for the pay-per-view and it was Becky, I think people would have been a bit disappointed it wasn't Sasha, because it's in Sasha's hometown. So yeah, I think they did the smart thing revealing it on SmackDown. This feud's been going on for months. It's been a bit up and down. There's been some hits, there's been some misses, highs and lows. But it's all coming to an end here, I think. And it should be a really, really good match. I'm excited to see WarGames on the main roster with like big stars in it. Obviously, NXT, it was like a staple, and they had some cracking matches over the years in NXT. But having people like Becky Lynch in it and Bayley in it, like, really adds to that. And the same with the men's side as well. I went back and forth on predictions for this one. I could not decide. I thought, well, because Becky's added to the match, and that's an extra like top star babyface, does that make it obvious that the babyfaces are winning? But then I thought, well, the whole point of, I think, this match is to have Rhea pin Bayley. Rhea pin Bianca, not Bayley. They're on the same team. Rhea pin Bianca to set up Rhea versus Bianca going forward, because I think they've teased it a little bit. So I think that's what makes sense. So I was kind of torn between those 2 different outcomes, if you like. And in the end, I went with Team Bayley to win. So yeah, the heel, I think Bianca, the challenger to Bianca, is set up from this, and it's probably going to be Rhea. I don't think it'll be Bayley again. I don't think it. Obviously, there's no point in it being the tag champs, and I don't think it'll be Nikki Cross. So Rhea getting the win, and Rhea's been booked so dominant as well that I think continuing that makes sense. And then you can build to the Royal Rumble potentially and do Rhea versus Bianca at the Rumble. I wouldn't mind seeing that as a WrestleMania match, but I don't know what the plans are. So I think they might do it now. I think they might strike it now on that. And then maybe do some sort of multi-woman match or something for WrestleMania, or you might put Sasha back or Becky in there, or whoever, Charlotte. There's so many options. Let's face it. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go for the heels to win this one. And mainly as well, also because I don't think two sets of baby faces are going to win. And my prediction is that the Brawling Brutes beat the Bloodline in the other match. The storyline, obviously, here is with Sami Zayn, the Usos, Kevin Owens. Brilliant stuff on SmackDown with them. Loved the conversation backstage between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Jey Uso, overhearing it. The camera work was really well, the subtlety of it. And then Sami lying to Jey afterwards. It was brilliantly done. And it set this, it's really planted the seeds now for either Sami turning before they turn or then turning on Sami. And I just think that story going into the WarGames is why the Bloodline is going to lose. Ultimately, there's going to be either a turn or Sami's going to accidentally cost the Bloodline, and then they'll probably turn on him down the line next week or something. But I think the Brutes win it here, and I think KO is going to be the big factor in the match. And I think, obviously, Drew, huge star. Obviously, that would mean Roman losing in a way, but he's not going to take the pin. And it's not for the title, so it doesn't matter if he loses by one of the Usos getting pinned, which is what I would expect to happen, or maybe Sami takes the pin. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a banger of a match. The Brawling Brutes have been putting on some excellent matches. Sheamus, I think we're going to set up Sheamus and Roman from this as well, potentially. So maybe Sheamus may get the winning pin by pinning. I don't think it'll pin Roman, but yeah, maybe Sheamus will get the win for the team. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see as well, by the way, Butch get a main event high spot on the card. Ridge Holland as well. It's cool for him. KO coming back into this, fantastic. I love that. Obviously, it would have been nice to see Rollins in this match with the Shield anniversary just gone, but realistically, they're not going to play on the Shield anniversary without Moxley being there as well anyway. So I don't think it's... And there's too many other people involved and too much storylines going on. I don't think they needed to put Rollins in this match. So I heard that being sort of discussed as online, maybe Rollins should have been in there. But personally, I think KO is perfect because of the storyline makes sense for it to be KO more. And yeah, Drew teaming with the Brutes. It's going to be a banger of a match. The Usos always deliver on the big stage as well. Roman, it's Roman Reigns. He's the biggest star. Sami Zayn, his storyline, his story stuff, his selling is going to be amazing, I'm sure. And Solo Sikoa as well. He's sort of fresh. And again, nice for him to get a big main event spot. How cool is it for him? So yeah, really, really good. I think the show looks fantastic on paper. 5 brilliant matches. Well, 4. I would say 4 brilliant matches and a decent match. Let's be honest. The Ronda Shotzi one's not going to be I don't think it's going to be great, but it's their perfect card in terms of. I thought there'd be 6 matches because there's been a lot, but I think with the 2 of them going long, the match I thought, by the way, that we were going to do, I thought they were going to do Bray Wyatt and LA Knight because putting Bray's first match back on a big show like Survivor Series would make a lot of sense. They've built it for 2 or 3 weeks. I thought they could have a 6-7 minute match with Bray winning against LA Knight, and that would be entertaining stuff. You might see a new character of Bray's, like Mr. Howdy, come in, or him wearing that mask that he's been wearing, or something like that, and a bit more development of that. But we're not getting that, it seems, because obviously LA Knight's been injured on the show by Bray, instead of obviously dragging it out longer. But a little bit disappointing not to see that. They may add something later on, last minute for the pre-show or something, but I don't think they're going to. I think this is the full card now. Really looking forward to the show. Very hyped for it. Been looking forward to it since they announced that it was going to be a WarGames thing, because I love the WarGames matches. They always deliver, and the rest of the card looks strong as well. So yeah, really looking forward to this show. Hopefully we'll get some sort of review, even if it's just me doing a little video like this. Hopefully we'll at least get some sort of review on before we do our sort of regular podcast again next week. I'll see what the other guys are up to, but yeah, I'll try and get something out, whether it be Sunday, Monday. But yeah, Hopefully look out for that. It's also the last predictions of the year, so the winner will be revealed after this show because we're not doing any more. There's two. I think there's a Ring of Honor show from AEW and an NXT show, but we're not doing those. So Survivor Series will be the last predictions of the year. Many of you have got them in already, so thank you very much. Anyone else who wants to join, get your practice in for maybe next year when you want to start seriously again and sort of join the competition. There's a free T-shirt from us up for grabs for the winner this year. And I'm assuming we'll probably do something similar next year, maybe something different. I don't know, but there will be something. But yeah, so predict there. Follow us on Twitter at Recharge Wrestle for more information on that. Look out for the podcast if you prefer to listen to the podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell your mum, tell your nan, anyone who likes wrestling or doesn't, doesn't really matter. Anyway, thanks very much, and I will see you soon. I've been Fisher from Recharge Wrestling. Goodbye.